She is a psychoanalyst.
I had to bribe him. I said, oh my God, you have to let me speak at your conference.
Right, there was that. She's a psychoanalyst. She's author, researcher, and owner of La Casa Day Spa. Dr. Goldberg is going to be here speaking with you today. She'll be talking about the latest research of how to extend the natural lifespan from 120 to 200 years or beyond, and the role of telomeres play in longevity and health. So, my great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Jane Goldberg.
I actually do want it. How about over here?
Can you put that a little bit lower? Thanks.
It's broccoli sprouts. I'm going to talk about it. So I want y'all to see it. I was supposed to be delivering another lecture now called the hormesis effect, so I just want to make a nod to that, which is that hormesis is the application of a non-lethal stressor. And stressing is really good for us if it's in the right dosage. And I took a video of my speech earlier because I was filling in for a doctor that didn't show up. So I'm going to post it on La Casa's website. So you can hear that speech, which I think had some pretty interesting information. So I'm going to begin by talking about, oh, guess what? You've heard nothing about this topic, ozone. Why is it that I am now the third speaker going to mention ozone? Because ozone is amazing, as they've been telling you. Ozone is, it kills every pathogen known to mankind. It kills cancer cells upon contact. 80% of the physicians, MDs in Germany, use ozone as standard practice. Why is ozone used in Cuba, which we heard about from the last speaker? Why is it also being used in India, in hospitals? In Cuba and India, they have whole hospitals of ozone. And why is it being used in Germany? What do those three countries have in common? They're poor. Germany is no longer poor, but when ozone started in Germany after World War II, Germany was pretty bankrupt. And India and Cuba are very poor, and India and Cuba, and oxygen is free. And ozone, of course, is O3. We do ozone at my spa, La Casa Day Spa, in a different place than everybody else, so dentists can use it in the mouth. And the doctor that just spoke to us, Dr. Robbins, puts it in the vein. Where do we put it? We do ozone colonics. So everybody knows where that goes. Ozone is like clay. It's absolutely brilliant. It only kills cells that are pathogenic cells. It leaves normal cells alone. I also want to talk about root canal because the speaker before Dr. Robbins, Dr. Schwartzman, was talking about root canal. So that's going to lead me to introduce a technology that I have been using for about probably 5 years now at La Casa. So the backstory of how I came to this technology is that my daughter has had a series of kidney infections. And the woman that led me to all this and changed my life, I see, happens to be sitting with us. I think she just came in, Dr. Judith Volpe. So she had been to La Casa a few times, and she said, Jane, you have to do something about Molly's kidney infections. Molly was here earlier today, by the way. I said, Judith, I don't know what to do. I've done everything I know to do holistically. She said, go see Michael in Brooklyn. So I called Michael in Brooklyn. It was the coldest day of the year 7 years ago. It was 22 degrees. By the time we left, I think it had dropped down to about 9 degrees. Michael from Brooklyn had Brighton Beach, had just come in from the ocean swimming. Michael is one of those crazy Russian Jews. We walked in, and my daughter said, I just got my period, I'm shivering, I'm shaking, I'm in unbearable pain, I need to lie down, I need an Advil. And Michael from Brooklyn said, Molly, I can give you an Advil, but if you give me 20 minutes, I will get you out of pain. She said, okay, I'll give it a try. He put some headphones on her, hooked her up to a machine called the Metatron, which is what I'm going to be talking about for a minute. And 20 minutes later, I said, how are you doing, Molly? And she said, the pain's beginning to subside. 30 minutes later, she was out of pain completely. This is why that was so miraculous. Molly at that time was 14. She'd been getting her period since she was 11 and a half, 3.5 years, every single month, down for the count. lying in bed, writhing in pain. Mom, I need some Tylenol. Mom, I need some Advil. And I don't have any drugs in my household. And then the second day, I'd have to write a note for school. Molly Goldberg can't do gym. So this man had her out of pain in 20 to 30 minutes. And I said that day, whatever this man knows and whatever this man has, I need to know and I need to have. And thus began my quest for obtaining a Metatron, which is a $30,000 system. So it took me a while to decide to buy it. But nevertheless, I bought it about 5 years ago. And it has literally changed my life. So this is a system based on Russian technology where it scans the body for frequency and it identifies pathogenic entities on every level, down to the cellular level, the mitochondrial level, the DNA level, the RNA level. So just as an example of one of the things that it's done that is an interesting story is I'm actually by day a psychoanalyst. So one of my psychoanalytic patients came and said, I found 3 ticks on my body. And I brought them to the lab. They're testing negative, but could you check me for Lyme disease? So I put her on the Metatron, and I didn't see any sign of Lyme disease. But I was in her lung at that point, and I saw something suspicious. And so you can go down layer after layer after layer with the Metatron. I was down at the DNA level, and I saw a disease or pathogenic entity that I'd never actually seen before. And I said, listen, I have a computer set up next to the Metatron computer, and I said, spell it out for me. I don't know what this is. Let me Google it and see what it is. So she started spelling out and got to the 5th letter and then stopped and said, oh my God. And I said, what? She said, this is the disease that killed my mother. It's a rare lung disease, very rare. And my patient had it on the DNA level. My patient happens to have cured herself of cancer holistically. So she's not going to get this disease, and even if it did manifest itself biologically, because again, the Metatron is reading vibrationally, it's not reading for biological mass manifestation. So when it reads for frequency, it means that you have a predilection for getting something. You may get it. If you take care of yourself, you won't get it. She won't get this disease. If she knows how to cure her cancer, she knows how to prevent from getting this disease. The other story that I want to give in reference to Dr. Schwartzman and root canal, I was interested in root canal as all holistic practitioners are, is I used to have a resort spa in Puerto Rico, and this woman came down to that probably 10 years or so ago. And she was like 5'7", she's an actress, she's beautiful, she's vigorous, you know, she's a normal weight. And then I saw her at La Casa a few months ago, and she looked like she was about 100 pounds, and she was really weak. She said that her skin was, felt like it was itching from the inside out. Her skin was filled with welts. I mean, truly, she looked like she was dying. So I said, oh, let me put you on the Metatron and just see what we can find. So I did that. And I found some pathogens and, you know, kind of ordinary run-of-the-mill stuff, nothing that interesting. She went home, but I was really puzzled, and so I continued looking. And I found a pathogen that I knew was specific to root canals. If you have a root canal, you have this pathogen. So I called her up and I said, have you ever had a root canal? She said, not only have I had a root canal, I've had 5 root canals in the same tooth. And I now have a permanent black spot in my gum. So I said, look, I'm not a dentist, and I'm certainly not a holistic dentist, but it is my surmise, my theory, my guess, that you're not going to get well until you have that tooth pulled. So that's just what I wanted to say in relation to the speakers that came before me. In relation to my speech earlier, and talking about hormesis, one of the things that I mentioned various ways that we can create the hormesis effect. We can eat, we create hormesis. We cannot eat, we create hormesis. We can also use another little known technology besides the Metatron, which I love, which is low-level radiation. And at that time, I had a copy of my book, which I don't seem to have anymore, called The Hormesis Effect, where I talk a lot about that. So just to continue with that for a second, I brought my Geiger counter. And I just wanted to show you that I brought these radioactive materials. So I just want to turn on the Geiger counter for a minute and show you that they're really radioactive. This is an old-fashioned Geiger counter. I had a digital one, but it broke. I dropped it. Yeah, that. Can you hear that?
No.
No? No.
It's going grrrr.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
So what is that you're putting?
This is radioactive mud. That was a radioactive stone that I put in my water.
It's off the scale, this one.
Yeah. This one is not, this is, again, my co-author of the book. The first edition was called Because People Are Dying. The latest edition is called The Hormesis Effect. He created this so that you could wear it around your neck to give you breast protection. This one is a little less, and this one is even less. But this has malachite in it, and the beautiful thing about this is that when you heat it, it emits an electrical energy. So this is really good for electrical balance. That's all. Thank you. So now I'm going to get to what is really the main topic of what I wanted to talk about, which is telomeres. So I don't know if y'all know the name Norm Shealy, but he is an icon in American holistic health. He created the first pain clinic, God knows how many decades ago. He built a whole university based on spirituality, frequency healing, and holistic health in a very strange place somewhere in Missouri, I think, called Hollis. 5 years ago, he started an experiment to try to deliberately extend the length of telomeres. Telomeres are at the end of your chromosome. There's a lot of research that shows that the length of your telomeres is directly correlated with the length of your life. So you live, the longer your telomeres, the longer you live. So when you get a finding like that, of course you want to know, okay, then how do I make my telomeres longer? And that's what Norm Shealy was interested in exploring. So he devised an experiment that actually, this woman is so important in my life. Judith Volpe told me about it. There are 50 of us that were participating in this experiment, and Norm developed what's called a Tesla mat based on the energy technology of Nikolai Tesla. And we agreed to lie on this mat for 20 to 40 minutes a day and to have our telomeres tested. At the time, it was just one lab that was testing telomeres, and so we had to have a baseline established, and then we agreed to have it retested every year. So now we're 4 years into the study, and indeed, Norm Shealy has found that lying on this Tesla mat, and I can't tell you anything about what a Tesla mat means or what the technology is, but in fact the telomeres have extended, they have lengthened. So are there other ways of extending telomeres? Well, hormesis extends telomeres. Anything that you do that puts a mild stress on your body, a stress that actually your body can then recover from, that will extend your telomeres. Eating healthy extends your telomeres, exercising extends your telomeres, vitamin C extends your telomeres. But the other thing about telomeres is that in 2009, researchers were awarded the Nobel Prize for their discovery that the thing that feeds telomeres is an enzyme called telomerase. So since they discovered that, they then, different laboratories around the world started searching for some product that would activate telomerase and then extend your telomeres. And in fact, they found such a thing. There's a plant that is grown in China called astragalus. Some of you may have heard of it because it's sold in health food stores, except that the amount that is sold in health food stores is not enough to extend your telomeres. So they take large mountainfuls of this astragalus, and then it's actually one molecule in the plant that they extract. And so since they're extracting one molecule, you can imagine how much astragalus they have. So when they first put out this product, it's called TA65, it was $25,000 a year. They reduced the price. I guess they were able to save money somehow in the production of it. They reduced the price to $8,000 a year a few years ago. And recently, I, by the way, did not do it, even though I didn't feel I needed to do a product since I was doing the mat. But I found out about a month ago, there's a physician, MD physician named Ed Park, and he has created his own product, which is called Recharge. His website is biomedicalrecharge, I think, .com. It might be Recharge Biomedical, but I think it's Biomedical Recharge. So his product is much cheaper, and I am putting everybody that I love on this product because it is going to make them healthier and live longer. And he has about 100 videos that he's done online that you can start watching, and one of them says, well, why stop at 120? Why stop at 200? I mean, let's just go. If you can, there are two kinds of cells that are immortal. One is the stem cell, and one is the cancer cell. So if we can make our cells become immortal cells, if we can discover what the secret is to an immortal cell, and the people that are promoting the idea of telomeres feel that they have discovered the secret, that the telomerase does share in common with the cancer, that it is an immortal cell, and they feel that we can go on forever and ever. So that's what I wanted to talk about.
What's the website again?
Ed Park, if you just Google Ed Park MD telomeres, you'll find it. I think it's biomedicalrecharge.com. And so I'm on the product now. I've been taking it 2 weeks. I love it. The first day after I took it, I woke up feeling happier. Somebody asked me if I feel better. I can't say I feel better. I feel great all the time. So nothing makes me feel better. But I have to say, I felt happier. Maybe I felt happier because I'm so enthusiastic about it. So anyway, I've become a distributor. So I really believe in this product.
What was Norm's name again? What was his name?
Ed Park.
No, the other gentleman.
Norm Shealy.
Norm Shealy.
How do you spell that?
S-H-E-A-L-Y. Norm Shealy. And by the way, the mat that we 50 agreed to buy, I think when Judith and I bought it, it was $3,000. I think he's got it on his website now, and he sells it for about $6,000. So if you don't want to buy the product, because the product, even though it's reduced from $8,000, I think it's still about $6,000 a year. You can do a one flat fee, $6,000, buy the mat, and you own it for life.
Well, that's Park, that's P-A-R-K?
Yep, he's Korean.
No way.
He and all the other Koreans, Park and Lee.
What was that $30,000 machine that you were talking about?
The Metatron. I love the Metatron. So I do offer that through my spa. I have had phenomenal success with it for the 5 years I've been using it. It both scans the body, so it gives a the accuracy rate for the diagnostic ability of it is supposed to be 80%. They've researched that in Russia. But as well as diagnosing, it also treats. So if medicine is moving into the field of energy medicine and frequency. If you know the frequency of something, everything in the universe has frequency. If you can determine the frequency of something, you can also create an anti-frequency for that pathogen. So the machine, as well as reading what's in your brain and scanning for the pathogenic frequencies, it emits, once it identifies what the pathogenic frequency is, I can set it so that it emits a frequency that neutralizes the pathogenic frequency. So it's both a diagnostic and a treatment machine. And it's phenomenal. Well, I may actually be finishing early. So maybe we can catch up. The Casa brochures are all in the bags now. That's what we just spent some time doing.
And for those of you who have never been to La Casa Day Spa, I encourage you to go check it out. It's awesome on many levels. Okay, our next speaker.